It started with the kind of silence that makes your skin crawl, the kind of silence that tells you something isn't just off. It's broken. Her phone lit up one evening while she was in the shower. I didn't mean to look. I swear I didn't. But curiosity always wears the mask of innocence before it morphs into something darker. The notification came from a name I'd never seen before. Tyler. That emoji was a dagger. I tapped it, hesitating, heart already thudding like war drums. One message, then another. Miss you already? Can't believe last night. Still thinking about your lips. The breath left my lungs. My fingers went cold. The bathroom fan buzzed softly in the background, the sound so calm compared to the chaos in my chest. I felt like I was drowning in shallow water. She came out wrapped in a towel, humming, oblivious. I didn't confront her. Not then. Instead, I smiled, kissed her forehead, and told her I loved her. She said it back, and the words tasted like ashes. That night I barely slept. Every "I love you" we'd ever exchanged rang false in my ears, like a counterfeit coin. My mind reeled through every memory with her. Her laugh at brunch, the way she held my hand in movie theaters, the lazy Sunday mornings. All of it was stained now, colored with suspicion. The next morning, she told me she was going on a ladies-only vacation with her college friends. Just us girls, she said, zipping up her pastel pink suitcase. No phones most of the time. You know how these things are. Spa days, beach time, wine nights. I nodded, my expression carefully blank. She kissed me goodbye at the airport, like nothing was wrong, like she wasn't escaping into a lie. But I had already taken the liberty of checking her flight information. It wasn't hard. She'd left the email open. Her destination, Tulum, Mexico. I also checked the tags on her friends' Instagram stories. None of them were in Tulum. One was in Denver, another in a wedding in Maine. The web of lies was unraveling, fast. I booked a ticket the same day. I wasn't even sure what I was planning. Revenge? Closure? Proof? All I knew was that I couldn't sit in our apartment, surrounded by her things, breathing in the scent of betrayal. I needed answers. I needed the truth, no matter how much it hurt. The flight to Tulum was suffocating. I kept imagining her with him. This Tyler. Was he tall? Did he make her laugh the way I used to? Had he seen the freckle on her thigh that only I knew about? The thoughts clawed at my mind like feral animals. When I landed, it was already evening. The heat wrapped around me, thick and cloying, as I stepped out of the airport and into a cab. The hotel was luxurious, the kind that tried to look rustic and earthy while charging more per night than my rent. I approached the front desk and gave her name. The receptionist smiled. "Ah, yes, Ms. Lane. Checked in yesterday with Mr. Tyler Shaw." My throat clenched. It was real. She hadn't even bothered to change her name for the reservation. Rage and heartbreak pulsed in equal measure. I thanked the receptionist and asked for a room on the same floor. I said I was her brother, worried about her safety. The lie slid from my tongue easily, coated in bitterness. I didn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling of my rented suite, waiting for morning. I imagined them tangled in white sheets, the fan spinning lazily above their bed, her laughter echoing off the walls meant for secrets. Every second was an act of self-inflicted pain, but I needed to feel it. I needed to carry the weight of what she'd done. The next morning, I saw them. Poolside. She wore the red bikini I'd bought her for our anniversary. Her head was thrown back in laughter, sunglasses perched atop her nose, and he was feeding her a slice of mango like they were living inside a damn romance novel. My hands curled into fists. I felt like I'd swallowed fire. I didn't go to them. Not yet. I watched from the distance, hidden behind a palm tree and my rage. I followed them for the day, from the pool to the beach bar, to the small boutique, where she tried on dresses with him, watching like he owned her smile. I took photos. Every moment, every lie, captured. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them, but they were evidence. Evidence of the life she was building on the ashes of what we had. That evening, as the sun set in violent oranges and bruised purples, I approached their table. They were seated at a beachfront restaurant, candles flickering in the balmy breeze. She didn't see me at first. Her laughter was so genuine it broke me. I walked up behind her and said her name, softly, just once. She turned, and the blood drained from her face. She froze, mid-laugh, the kind of freeze that comes when your soul gets yanked from your body. Her hand hovered near her wine glass, suspended in disbelief. Tyler turned slowly, confusion written all over his sunburned face. I could see it in her eyes, the rapid calculations, the flaring panic, the guilt trying to dress itself up as surprise. Her lips parted, but no words came out. "Hey, babe," I said, calmly, evenly, as if we were back home and she was just getting back from the store. Tyler looked between us. "Babe?" he repeated, frowning. "Who is this?" Her voice finally returned. It was fragile, cracked at the edges. "I can explain." "Oh, you're going to," I said. "Believe me, you're going to." The air around the table thickened, like wet cement. The clinking of silverware from nearby tables, the gentle lap of ocean waves, even the chirping of cicadas. It all seemed too loud now, almost mocking in its normalcy. I sat down at their table without invitation, folding my hands neatly in front of me, shaking only slightly. Tyler looked like he was about to stand up and say something, but I raised a hand. "Relax, champ. I'm not here to throw punches. Just truths." Her face twisted into something unreadable, a mix of shame, fear, and an echo of anger, as if I was the one who'd done something unforgivable. I couldn't believe she had the audacity to look at me like that. "You told me this was a girls' trip," I said, never taking my eyes off her. "You told me you needed a break, time with your friends. So either Tyler here is really good at doing your nails, or you've got some explaining to do." "I was going to tell you," she whispered, barely audible. "No, you weren't," I said, louder now. "You had no plan. You were just going to ride this lie until it snapped under you like thin ice." Tyler finally spoke. "Wait, you're her boyfriend? You two are together?" "Were," I corrected, ice dripping from every syllable. "Apparently I'm just the guy who waters the plants and keeps the bed warm when she's not on vacation with her other boyfriend." Her head dropped into her hands. "This isn't what you think." "Then please," I said, "enlighten me. Because I think I'm the man who's been sleeping next to someone for over a year, building dreams with someone who was building an escape plan." People were watching now. Other guests from the restaurant were slowing their forks, pretending not to eavesdrop while hanging on every word. She knew it. I could see her eyes darting, the blood rushing to her cheeks, her breath getting faster. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she said finally. "But you did," I replied. "And every day you let it continue. You chose this. You chose him. You chose this lie." Tyler leaned back, arms crossed. "She told me she was single." That hit like a slap. Somehow worse than all the rest. I laughed, but it came out hollow. "Of course she did. Why lie to just one person when you can lie to two and get double the attention?" "Stop!" she snapped, suddenly sharp. "This isn't fair." I stood slowly, feeling the burn of betrayal in every muscle. "Fair?" I echoed. "You lied about who you were, about where you were going, about everything. And now I'm the bad guy because I didn't just sit back and let you keep playing me like a fool?" She looked at me then, not like a lover, not like a friend, but like a stranger who'd been caught stealing something. And maybe that's exactly what she was. A thief of trust, of time, of love that I had handed over so freely. I leaned closer, just enough that she could feel the weight of my words. "This isn't about revenge," It's about recognition. I need you to see what you've done. I need you to look me in the eyes and tell me that I was just your placeholder." Tears welled up in her eyes, but I felt no sympathy. Not yet. Maybe not ever. I pulled out my phone, dropped it on the table, and opened the album I'd titled Truth Hurts. Photos, videos, them at the beach, them at the boutique. Her wearing the dress I'd once complimented on another woman's body. I swiped through slowly as they stared, horrified. This wasn't just confrontation, it was a funeral for our relationship, and I was burying it in digital memories. She reached for the phone, but I pulled it away. "No," I said. "You don't get to erase this. You made this bed. Now sleep in it." Then I turned to Tyler. "Good luck, man. She's amazing at pretending. Almost had me fooled, too." And I walked away. I didn't look back, but even as I stepped off that beach, leaving her in the ruins of her own dishonesty, the weight didn't lift. It just shifted. The walk back to the hotel felt surreal, like I was floating just above the ground, detached from my own body. The colors of Tulum, once vibrant and intoxicating, had dulled into something bitter. Palm trees like specters, ocean breeze no longer, comforting but cold and mocking. My mind was silent at first, hollow, but then the thoughts came rushing in like a dam breaking, violent and fast, each one a shard of broken trust cutting me from the inside out. I didn't sleep that night. Again. My hotel room felt like a tomb. Her laughter from earlier haunted me. So carefree, so genuine. But none of it had been mine. Not anymore. Maybe it never had been. I tried to remember when I first started to lose her, but the truth was, I didn't lose her. She gave herself away. Quietly, deliberately, one piece at a time, behind my back. The next morning, I left the hotel early, unable to bear the thought of possibly running into them. I found a quiet cafe tucked between stucco walls covered in vines, and for the first time in days, I sat still. The coffee was bitter. The air was too hot. Everything tasted like betrayal. I scrolled through the photos on my phone again, not out of obsession but to remind myself this had happened, that I wasn't imagining it, that I wasn't the crazy one. By noon, my phone buzzed with a message from her. "Please, can we talk?" Alone? I stared at the screen for a long time. My first instinct was to delete the message and block her. But something in me wanted to hear. The last chapter straight from her mouth, not filtered through tears or lies. I needed closure, even if it came wrapped in more pain. I agreed. She met me at the same cafe an hour later. She looked different, smaller somehow. Her eyes were swollen, face pale. She sat down across from me like a student awaiting punishment. For a long time we just stared at each other. The weight of everything unsaid filled the space between us. "I didn't come here to argue," she said finally. "I just want to be honest now. Really honest." I leaned back, arms crossed. "That would be a refreshing change." She flinched at that. "I didn't plan to fall for someone else. It just happened." "That's the thing," I replied. "Love doesn't just happen. It's chosen. You chose him. While I was planning our anniversary, while I was dreaming about asking you to move in, you were choosing someone else." Her lip trembled. I felt trapped. "You were always so certain about us. And I was scared because I wasn't. And instead of telling me that, you slept beside me every night, said you loved me, and made plans for the future you knew you wouldn't keep." She nodded slowly. "Because I didn't want to lose you. You were safe. You were everything I thought I was supposed to want. But Tyler," he reminded me of a part of myself I forgot existed. I laughed, bitter and sharp. "So I was the prison, and he was your key?" "No," she whispered. "You were home." But I realized I wasn't ready to live there yet. My throat tightened. I wanted to scream, to shake her. to make her feel the hole she'd torn in me. But instead, I just sat there, letting her words crawl across the ruins of our love. "I'm sorry," she said, tears rolling down her cheeks now. "You didn't deserve any of it. And I'll carry that guilt forever." Guilt. It was such a useless thing now. It couldn't fix what was broken, couldn't rebuild what she'd burned down. But part of me still looked at her and remembered every good thing. Her sleeping curled against my chest, her snorting laugh when she was tipsy, the way she used to dance in the kitchen when she thought no one was watching. "I loved you," I said. "I still do. But love doesn't survive. Lies." She wiped her face and stood slowly. "I hope one day you find someone who gives you the honesty I never could." "I hope one day," I said, "you learn not to run from something just because it's real." She nodded, her shoulders shaking, then turned and walked away. I watched her until she disappeared into the crowd, into the heat, into her new life, where I didn't belong anymore. I didn't follow. I didn't call her back. She had taken my heart, shattered it, and handed me back the pieces like a favor. But this was the moment I stopped trying to glue it back together for her. I was going to do it for me. I stayed in Tulum for 2 more days. Not because of her, not because I hoped she'd call again, but because I needed to remember how to be alone without feeling abandoned. The world kept moving, and I had to find a way to move with it. The ocean still crashed in its rhythmic pulse. The sun still rose, arrogant and golden. And somewhere between morning coffees and midnight walks on the beach, I started to feel the faintest thread of clarity weaving through the chaos inside me. The nights were the hardest. Loneliness is loud in the dark. I would lay in the wide hotel bed and stare at the ceiling fan, remembering the countless times I'd imagined our future. Marriage, a dog, kids maybe, a home with laughter and soft music, and the comfort of knowing someone had your back. She had stolen those dreams and sold them for moments in the sun with someone else. But I began to realize something important. Maybe those dreams were still mine. Maybe they'd just been misplaced in the hands of the wrong person. I left Tulum without telling her. No dramatic goodbye, no final message. She didn't reach out again. That silence said everything. It was her confession, her apology, her goodbye. And I accepted it. Not because it was enough, but because it was over. The flight back felt different. I wasn't boiling anymore. I wasn't shattered into sharp fragments. I was bruised, yes, but healing. Every mile away from her was a stitch closing the wound. Every cloud we passed through in the sky felt like another layer between me and what she did. I watched the city lights flicker below and realized I hadn't lost myself. I'd only lost the illusion that someone else could ever complete me. Back at home, everything was as we left it. The apartment was frozen in the shape of a shared life. Her toothbrush still stood next to mine. Her cardigan hung on the back of the kitchen chair. I should have thrown it all out in a single sweep, but I didn't. Not yet. Instead, I walked through every room like it was a museum. A museum of a love that had lived here once. I found an old photo of us, stuck to the fridge with a magnet shaped like a slice of pizza. We were at a cabin in the mountains, both grinning, snow in our hair. I stared at it for a long time, then took it down and slid it into a drawer. Not destroyed, just put away. I wasn't ready to forget the good. I just didn't want it front and center anymore. In the weeks that followed, the pain became manageable. Less sharp, like a scar, always there, but no longer bleeding. I started running again, reading, seeing friends who'd quietly noticed her absence, but never pressed. I even laughed a few times for real, not the hollow kind. And every now and then, I'd remember her. A smell, a song, the way she used to say my name when she was tired. But it stopped feeling like drowning. It started to feel like a memory I didn't need to hold on to anymore. Tyler reached out once. A DM on Instagram. He said he broke things off with her after the trip. I didn't know, he wrote. But I could feel it. She was still in love with someone else, or maybe just the idea of being loved by everyone. I didn't respond. What was there to say? He'd been lied to, too. We were both victims of the same performance. But I wouldn't carry his pain, or hers anymore. One day I passed a girl on the street who had her laugh, just for a second. My heart stopped, and then I kept walking. That was how healing worked, not in fireworks or declarations, but in the quiet refusal to let the past drag you backward. Months later, I stood in front of the mirror and didn't see someone broken. I saw a man who'd been lied to, hurt, humiliated, but who had survived it. I saw someone stronger than he'd ever wanted to be, and I realized something she never had. Love isn't supposed to make you smaller. It's supposed to expand you. She taught me that. The hard way, and in a strange, painful way I was grateful, because when I love again, and I will, it won't be blind, it will be real, and it will be mine.